bada bing, ching, ching, big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right.
What is going on, believers? I hope everybody's having a great morning. My name is Bleaves. Welcome to Breakfast with Bleaves. By the way, if you are new to the channel or if you are coming in right now, please give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit that bell to be notified. And if you come in afterwards, leave a comment down below and let our monkey friends go crazy. All right, so let's start off the show. We are going to cover the crypto market. Ethereum is up 9% in the 24-hour window. If you run around here, you can see that Solana is up 11%, having a nice run. Guys, we've talked about this before. Avalanche is up 14% in the 24 hours. We talked about that one before. You guys have asked me repeatedly, which ones do I feel the most bullish on? And I told you it was going to be blockchains. And when you start going down the list, what are you finding? You're finding the blockchains were taking off in the last 24 hours. Those were the ones that had the big moments. All you have to do is watch the charts, look, find the bottoms, and then make your plays. But the big talk is on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is trading at 20,005. The resistance point today, by the way, was 21,000. And the overnights, and by the way, for those of you that follow me for any length of time, what do I talk about every night? I talk about 3 a.m. Central Standard Time. And that something always happens at 3 a.m. Central Standard Time. And here it is right here, 3 a.m. Central Standard Time. Bitcoin was trading at $19,880. And it went on a massive run all the way up to 21,000 before we reached 4:30 p.m., 4:30 a.m. And that happens every single time. Good morning. What's going on, Keith? It happens every single time. Then we have a little bit of sideways trading action, and you can feel that there was a little bit of dump, which, of course, when you get a run, if you think about this, you got a 1,000-point run off of Bitcoin, which, by the way, was translated over here to Ethereum, taking Ethereum from 1,065 all the way up to 1166. So that was a gigantic move for Ethereum as well. And so now you can see the writing of the market. There was a buy signal that I got over here. I did not jump into anything. I kind of stayed on the sidelines. What's going on, Sergio? What's going on, Dopey? I stayed on the sidelines for this. I gotta get my car serviced in just a few minutes. So I stayed, but here you go. You see right here, there's a buy line of support that we're talking about that comes in right here. So I'm figuring that we're probably going to see a little bit of a bounce off of that. I don't know that this is going to go back down. I think we're going to get maybe a little bounce here, a couple of bounces. Maybe it'll move back up. A great opportunity. The American market, the important part here is to look at the Dow overnights. And on the Dow overnights, we were looking okay, but now we're looking up 187 points. Some of the shyness has been wiped out by such a great market over the weekends for cryptocurrency and by proxy, any of the other markets. So people are feeling a little bit better about their positions. We're going to open around 30,056. Not a great number, obviously, guys. You know, the stock market is down 20%. It's obvious that we're in a bear market, but we're looking to get back into within that realm, and we don't have any kind of major announcements or any kind of catastrophic complaining, moaning, or BS that we normally get from the Fed or anybody, quote unquote, in charge. So it's very possible that we get on a little bit of a run that continues throughout the day. Now, to really check that out, we got to kind of go back here, and we're going to have to take the hours. I'm going to mess up my chart here just a little bit. We're going to have to look at the 17th, which is where we were over the weekend. We ended up, let me go get the exact close time. So we closed right about here on Friday, and that was around 20,651. So that's the American market. And in 3 days, we haven't gained or lost any real ground. So there's no reason for people to be taking profits that held over the weekend or did anything for swings. So it's entirely possible that this thing could have a nice little leg up. Now, no, I don't want to presume or think that we're going anywhere spectacular, because we're going to meet this resistance right here if we get on a run. Remember, there's constant levels of resistance, especially with something like Bitcoin. But we hit that 21,000 resistance in the middle of the night. Right after that, we're going to have 21,300. Right after that, we're going to have, it's going to be a little bit higher. There's going to be something in between here. I don't want to scroll back too far, and we're looking at the hours, so the resistance is a little bit different. But you can see here, this was a massive level of resistance on the 3-minute chart, all the way through 29,950 and above. So I would consider that we're probably going to have a little fight here to get back up any. And you can move over here on the 3 minutes, and you can see it's been a few days since we had reached that level. And when we did reach that level, then you can see further resistance here at 21.3. You can see further resistance here. So there's lines all over the place. There's your 21,000 resistance. It just continues to pop up. So we know that this is a big number. We know that this is a big spot. So, but here's the thing. The market does not look like it's in a horrible state. So we don't have any indication that there's going to be a mass sell-off or anything happening right now. So that's the best news for a newer type of investor, or an investor who's not stabled. But at the end of the day, this market has got to tumble. If it does not tumble, then it cannot succeed. We're not going to have a moment where we start to pump until we get a full on, and I know I say this over and over again, but until we get a full on capitulation of this market, where we absolutely tank, where we absolutely hit a real sort of rock bottom, which we have not hit, by the way. These numbers down here, these are not rock bottoms. These are just lows for that market. So we're going to have a lot more dip before we start to see what we really want to see. And what we really want to see is, we want to see people get into this market. Jesus. What we really want to see is want people to get into this market, and we want them settled down at this lower number. We want that institutional money back in the market. And until that institutional money sees that we are basically, we got to give up, is basically what it is. Until we really just kind of say, this is the moment where we get 730 on Ethereum, which may not even be enough anymore, until we get to 13,800 on Bitcoin, then we're probably going to see a continued and varied struggle before we have any opportunity to start really moving up. I don't think that we have a spot where it's going to happen. If that's the case, Keith, then we're not going anywhere. We're in a recessionary period. We don't have anything positive to keep us pumping, and we have no reason for institutional money to come flooding back into the market right now, because we're not giving them a great entry point. Now, they're going to FOMO, and there will be some FOMO. There's always going to be somebody that's going to give a little bit. And here's the other thing, like you just said right here, we'll trade sideways for 6 months. We trade sideways for 6 months, then we're going to see lower than 17,000. That's going to be a long-term capitulation, because 20,000 cannot hold. If nobody's making any money, there's no purpose behind people being in this market long-term. So the long-term sentiment in this market will go. So we're going to have peaks, we're going to have valleys, and it's a question right now of how low those valleys can go. And yeah, I don't think the exchanges are going to be able to stop anything from happening. I think that, well, you know what? Let me. I don't put anything past anybody anymore. Like I've seen what happens with places like Robinhood and shit like that. I don't know anything about Joe Biden's comments. Joe Biden is a 99-year-old zombie. So I have no idea. Hey, does it freak anybody out and does it annoy the shit out of you that to know that Joe Biden is a zombie, that he beat Donald Trump, and that Donald Trump can't even ride a bike? And that Joe Biden, a 99-year-old zombie, can still ride a bike? Does it ever dawn on people that all Donald Trump does is walk around with a diaper? And I mean, I assume he just shits himself. But Joe Biden's out here bicycling every day, even though it's silly, and falling off the bicycle is pretty funny. But is it ever just like, what the hell is going on here? And why do we never see Donald Trump on a bike? It's kind of weird, right? I mean, it's got to be. You got to think that it's kind of weird, right? We've never seen Donald Trump on a bike. We've seen Joe Biden on a bike. So are Donald Trump and Joe Biden the same people? Or maybe Donald Trump is the bike and Joe Biden's just riding him every day. Huh. You never know. Things that make you go, I don't know. What was that guy? Who was that medical person? Ronnie Millsap? Whatever. I mean, I assume his name was Ronnie Millsap because the dude was obviously blind when he called Trump a physical specimen and said he was 236 pounds. Yeah, from his ass to his knees. Well, and that's a good point, Chris. But if that's the case, then Joe Biden has all that money too because he got it from Hunter Biden. And if that's the case, then he's super rich too. And listen, Donald Trump inherited a $480 million empire from his father, and in 27 years was able to turn it into a $480 million empire that owed a lot of people money. So there's something to be said about at least being able to maintain. Now, if you put it in crypto, look at this. Donald Trump would have been a trillionaire at this point, right? Poor guy. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. Matter of fact, I saw Bill Maher this weekend, Real Time with Bill Maher, and he was trying to throw in a little bit of defense of Joe Biden and some of the policies and things like that. But you know what? And it's fair for you to say in certain instances, like there's a lot of diversity in the administration. That's not how you get money, though. Just having a lot of diversity and stuff is nice. That's public sentiment. It's great. But yeah, we got $5 gas. And listen, Joe Biden didn't mind telling you about how low gas prices in 2016 or 2017 was it? He didn't mind telling you how it was Barack Obama that did that. It wasn't Donald Trump doing that. Well, it's 2 years into his presidency. It's no longer Donald Trump's fault. So instead of saying that it's because of the presidency, he's saying, well, we can't control that. Yes, you can. You can't control it completely. Of course, it's capitalism. But hey, this is what capitalism is. So either you like it or you don't like it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that would make sense. Trump did not care about appeasing all of the people who were. He didn't bother offending all of the people who you're not supposed to offend. He didn't mind making people angry. He didn't mind your feelings. He really had an opinion about your feelings. And I'm not sure what that opinion was, but you know what? Really do need more of that. We just need people who at least show some respect and dignity to those that should be treated with it. And you're not going to be able to alienate over half of America and then pretend that you won. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird. You spend all that time offending people. Guess what? They get offended. So Ron DeSantis in 2024, that's the move. That's the play. Even though, people aren't going to like him either, but there's going to be a difference there. He's probably the guy who's not going to offend people purposely just to be a dick. He's doing it right now because he's trying to win support from Trump's base. So he's going to do what he's got to do to get that support. Then we're going to find out who the real person is. And by real person, I mean the real person that Ron DeSantis is. So, we'll see. But at this point, you gotta be thinking that there's there's going to be a Republican president, because this is going to be a one-term Democrat regime, because it just can't, right? But in the news, Babel Finance has reached an agreement with counterparties after withdrawal freeze. The company will continue to communicate with shareholders as it looks to obtain liquidity support. Now, that doesn't mean that they've got the money, but Hong Kong-based crypto lender Babel Finance has reached preliminary agreements with counterparties on the repayment of some debts that led to the platform halting large withdrawals last week, according to an official update Monday on the company's website. On Friday, Babel imposed a $1,500 per month withdrawal limit, citing unusual liquidity pressures. Now, following an emergency assessment of operations, the company says short-term liquidity pressures have eased. So that means that they'll probably ease that up from $1,500 to a little bit more. We have actively communicated with shareholders and potential investors and will continue to communicate and obtain liquidity support. At the end of 2021, Babel Finance had an outstanding loan balance of over $3 billion, up from $2 billion the previous February. The company just last month raised $80 million in a Series B last month at a valuation of $2 billion. So yeah, I'm reticent to say that it's been a disaster, because I think that from a standpoint, there's a lot of people who just absolutely hate. Now, listen, there are a lot of people who are. I don't look. I mean, say what you want, but MAGA is a cult, right? They're idolizing a single entity. It's the exact thing that you would call a cult. They have a weird belief system. The election was stolen, that there's millions and billions and quadrillions of people. Mexicans support Donald Trump. Mexicans support Republican and conservative principles at 67%, but somehow they're the ones coming over and doing the voting for the Democrats. Like, there's craziness. I mean, like, there's absolutely bonkers insanity that's coming out of these people. They are a cult, right? But you've got to you've got to win that cult, because that's a good voting block. Now, coupled with that, they also have some power in the media. And to be fair, Democrats are very easy to meme. If you go to a Democratic website and you see memes, they do not want to offend people. So all of their memes are just, yeah. And if you go to the right-wing websites and you look at their memes are awesome. I mean, they are funny. They are insane. They are crazy. But then you have this other cult, and that cult is this radical leftist. You have to say what I want you to say the way I want you to say it, or you have to be banned and banished from society for a period of time. What is that girl, Felicia Sanez from the Washington Post? There was a guy at the Washington Post who retweeted something. So this crazy 20-something who's going out of her way to make sure that everybody is equal, it just going on and on and on and on. Had this huge run in, this gigantic run in with another employee, and his name. Ew, gross. Allow ads on Fox News? No. Anyway, so this guy right here, whatever his name is, he's like a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, and he retweeted something one day. Here we go. Cam Harless, who is a comedian, posts, "Every girl is bi. You just have to figure out if it's polar or sexual." So then you can see here David Weigel. David Weigel is from the Washington Post, and he retweeted it. So then she says, "Fantastic to work at a news outlet where retweets like this are allowed." That's called America, stupid. Like, are you kidding me? What she's asking for is to be controlled. And then we get somebody here who says, "David's retweet is terrible and unacceptable, but rallying the internet to attack him for a mistake he made doesn't actually solve anything. We all mess up in some way or another. There's such a thing as challenge with compassion. Jose David's retweet was indeed terrible and unacceptable. It was also public, and it's important that all those who saw Dave's tweet also see Washington Post reporters standing up for our newspaper's values, one of which is that comments denigrating women will not be tolerated." So obviously this bipolar chick right here doesn't want to be called a bipolar chick. I assume it's going to be multipolared in order to be in line with whatever her radical, crazy ass belief system is. But this cult right here got David Weigel suspended. And then because she wouldn't stop, she started attacking everybody. She started attacking the Washington Post. She started attacking the editor. She started attacking every single person that was involved in some way. Here we go. Are there different rules for different people here? Yes, we've known it for more than 2 years. We held 3 company-wide listening sessions in the February 2020, shortly before the Post staffers began working from home due to the coronavirus pandemic. And honestly, we've known it for longer than that. For years, Post employees have been raising concerns about unequal treatment. You didn't even work there. So give it up. So then she won't shut up. Like, she just will not stop. She's attacking every person. When women stand up for themselves, some people respond with even more vitriol. Last night, a Post colleague publicly attacked me for calling out another colleague's sexist tweet. He first hid any reply objecting to his attack, and now he seems to have deleted his account. Like, this woman is just going on this social justice warrior rant to the point that the Washington Post finally said, "You know what? You are fired." She is gone. So this crazy woman is no longer affiliated with the Washington Post. And you know what? If they have to pay her a settlement, they decided it's worth it. It's worth it. So she's going to be on some radical blog at some point. Because listen, joking is okay. It's America. Your First Amendment right is to say something that could be offensive to somebody, but it's called a joke. It's not real. There are stereotypes that exist in this world. There are stereotypes that people know exist. And you know what? Some of them are funny. When Jeremy Lin, a bunch of years ago, had a very bad game for the Houston Rockets, a Houston Chronicle reporter had a headline that said, "A chink in the armor." Now look, it's a double entendre and it's racist and offensive, but it was still funny. It's not what you want to see. It's what you want somebody to be condemned for. You don't want them to do it again, but you still look at it and you're like, "Oh my God, did that really happen?" And the fact that something like that does happen, and that, you go through, listen, you have to make it through a writer who says, "Oh, that's a great idea." And then you have to make it through an editor who said, "You know what? I agree. That's a good idea." The funniness is not in them doing it. The funniness is in them making it through so many different layers of security just to reach a point where somebody says something like that and you're like, oh my God, did that really happen? You know what I mean? Like it's not always about it. It's just that that shit's crazy. It is crazy. That's all right. We're all crazy too, right? So, but anyway, so she's fired and she gone. And now we're going to have to at some point stand up for what is right. We're going to have to decide at some point whether freedom of speech is the hill that we die on, or whether subverting free speech and suppressing it is the path that we want to take. And if we take that path, then we are doomed as a society because we're suppressing people. Now listen, continue to protest, continue to say when you don't like something. If you don't like something, say it. It's okay. Because my right to tell an offensive joke is just as important as your right to say, I don't like that joke. And I don't care, because if I thought it was funny and I'm sharing with other people that I think it's funny and you happen to have your ear in and you might not think it's funny, that's your problem, not mine. Don't listen to me. But people are free to say what they want to say, even if it's offensive. They are not, however, free to say it on somebody else's business platform. You're not free to say whatever you want to say on Twitter. Yes, I did. You are not free to say whatever you want on Facebook. You're not free to say whatever you want on Instagram. You're free to walk out of your house. You're free to engage with the people in your neighborhood. You're free to do whatever you want to engage in free speech within the confines of not impeding yourself on other people's platforms. So if I have a business and I say, well, you can't say shit, then you can't say shit on my platform, even if you really like the word and you think that it's awesome. And instead of saying shit, you say the Southampton Institute of Technology. And you go through it in that process, and I recognize it, then I am free to ban you because it's my platform. I can tell you what to do because you're agreeing to my terms of service. Your freedom of speech is not being impinged upon because your freedom of speech doesn't allow you to do whatever you want on my platform. You can't walk into my store and just start yelling at every person that walks into the store. You cannot do it. And that's what people are doing on Twitter. Twitter is just like a storefront, just a storefront with a lot of people in it. So, but we have to defend it when we see it, and we have to allow that there are just going to be offensive jokes sometimes. There are jokes that I used to laugh at. There used to be like the riddles, the what do you get when you cross a dead baby and stuff like that. Like that used to be hilarious to me when I was a kid. I'm not a kid anymore. It's not funny anymore, but it doesn't mean it wasn't funny at some time. And it's not offensive because it's not real. Even if you have somebody who says that it's real, it's still not real. You know what I'm saying? You know what is real? Cryptocurrency. And look at this. We're getting a big pump all of a sudden at the 8:30 mark on the American market. Now, I don't know if that means that we're going to be seeing a massive dump and a taking of thine profit, but we just got a buy signal on the wick here. And we might, it's very possible, by the way, that we could see a run to like 1,200 in short order because, this market is kind of ready to at least have some sort of moment. Let's throw in and see what happens. Let's see what's going on with Uniswap. Ooh, Uniswap is down. Uniswap is down. Wow. All right, well, let's move on. I gotta put my soapbox away, so I gotta carry soap on it later. Hey, just a reminder to old Tom. Hey man, Uganda, 31 million metric tons of gold. But It's rare. By the way, this is an interesting article, and since we're going to be involved in this for a period of time, we should probably know the metaverse could generate 5 trillion by 2030, simply too big to be ignored. Global consulting firm McKinsey and Company has forecasted the metaverse may generate up to $5 trillion by 2030. In addition, more than 80% of commerce could be impacted by activities in the metaverse. Global management consulting firm McKinsey and Company published a report last week titled Value Creation in the Metaverse. The report detailed our work began by surveying more than 3,400 consumers and executives on metaverse adoption, its potential, and how it may shift behaviors. And you know what? When I read some of this article, you know what I started thinking about? How cool would it be to, this is an early stage, but let's just say that you put in your dimensions. You create your own tune, and the tune is really you. And it's not a tune that you walk around the earth with. Like if you want to be a big muscle head or something like that, you want to be super skinny and have muscles bulging out because it looks ridiculous and that's what you want to be online, be that. But if you go to a store, like let's say, who has online? So we go to Amazon. Let's say we go to an Amazon store online, right? And never click on the ad one because then that lets them know that it's working. All right, so then we want to go buy a t-shirt, right? So then what if we could go in here, we can click on this t-shirt that we're buying here for 71 cents. We go into this t-shirt right here and we can click a link, and that link puts the t-shirt by size on your body type so that you can see what you look like in the t-shirt. And it does it like we all don't look like Shred McDickhead here. You know, we all look like, most of us have like the normal body. We had a little fat roll around, stuff like that. We're not just ripped for doing pictures and stuff. So what if you had your own tune? All you have to do is like click over here, a button, and it puts that shirt on you, and then you can see what it looks like on you. Like that's what the metaverse future would look like. What if you're going to buy a car and you look at the car and you want to see what do I look like in the car, and you can just click a button and it will show you this is what you look like. Put your fat ass in a car. You know what I mean? Yeah, Dogecoin actually, Dogechain, and the fact that they've run I don't think people understand how big a deal this is right now. Dogecoin has created a test net. So Dogechain is now setting themselves up to move forward. There's going to be a moment in time where Dogecoin is going to run, and it's going to run hard. Like they've enhanced themselves and created more of what they were. And I mean, if you go back and you look at Shiba, is at 4.8 trillion, and it's still bleeding. It's only up 3% on the day. Dogecoin's up 5% at 7.9 billion. They're moving back into the public lexicon, so to speak. As a matter of fact, it was very important, and for anybody that didn't see it, by the way, because I had a lot of fun. I made a 1 minute long video because there's different people that make posts, and there's different influencers that have opinions about shit, and that's fine. I mean, have your opinion. You can say, well, the reason that the market pumped was because the blah 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 and the blah 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 blah. Look, at 1:19 a.m. on June 19th, Elon Musk said, "I will keep supporting Dogecoin." Switch to the 1 hours over here. And when did this market start taking off? Right here. At the moment that Elon Musk put out a tweet that said that he supports Dogecoin, Ethereum went from 950 to 1145. That's out of control. Like that's like you have to. People have to be able to see this and recognize, like, guys, don't kid yourself. Like, this is clown shoe level stuff here. Bitcoin went from 18,357 up to 20,710 during the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was nothing special that moved this market other than a single tweet by Elon Musk. So if you were making videos about all the different reasons why you think crypto was pumping the other day, pamp that shit down and read a book or something. There's always a reason. The question is, can you find the reason? And this reason was the simplest of reasons. Now, back to this stuff. That's exactly right. All you need is Musk. Now, Dogechain testnet. In the news over here. Here, this is FX Street. It says Dogecoin prices hovering around the 4.8 cent support level after a 72% crash in the last 70 days. Now that's tied to the market. That's gonna be part of the market, right? The MRI indicator flashes a buy signal on the weekly time frame, suggesting the possibility of a bottom. The weekly candlestick closes below 4.8 will invalidate the bullish thesis and signal for Doge. So that's just your general consensus that, you know, this might be the low. This might be that spot where we're maybe at the bottom. And it turns out they were right, because now we're at 5.9. And that's an increase, by the way, of 25% in a short period of time. So then we get to adding a bit of bullishness to this recovery outlook is the launch of the Doge chain testnet on June 15. The new testnet is built on the Polygon Edge, which provides Doge developers with a new blockchain network while providing full compatibility with Ethereum smart contracts and transactions. The Doge chain will use the Istanbul Byzantine fault tolerant consensus mechanism and proof of stake. This revamp could hopefully breathe life into Dogecoin and its market value, which has remained low since the appearance of Dogecoin killer Shiba Inu. Dogecoin price has produced 3 distinctive lower highs that can be connected using a trend line. Doing so reveals that any attempt at recovery during the 93% crash were hammered by this trend line. As a result, Doge shattered the 7 to 8.7 support area, flipping it into a resistance barrier, interestingly. And by the way, remember, if you guys remember, there was a lot going on back in 2021 before Dogecoin took off, when the talk was about 7 cents. Like, there was a lot of conversation about people, and you saw all your friends were telling you, yeah, I bought it 7 cents. Like, all of my friends were telling me the same thing. They bought at 7 cents. So, like, this was a big number for Dogecoin before it really started to get on the run. While the overall outlook of the market is still drenched in a bearish bias, the momentum reversal indicator seems to have come alive and hints at a potential reversal. The green one buy signal on the weekly chart by the MRI forecasts a 1 to 4 candlestick upswing for Doge. Although investors might be unsure, the signal has been accurate to the T the last few times it popped up. For example, the bull run top was signaled by a red 1 down arrow by the MRI on May 10, which was followed by a 90% crash. The exponential rally in late 2020 was also marked by a top signal, which led to a 31% downswing. The last time this indicator flashed a green 1 buy signal, the Dogecoin price rallied 445% in 2 months or so. Therefore, the investors need to be cautiously optimistic about this buy signal for the Dogecoin price. If this is truly at the bottom, then Doge could rally 81% to 10 cents before facing a sell-off. So, on the other hand, if the Doge price produces a weekly candlestick close below 4.8 cents, it will create a lower low and signal the continuation of a downtrend. Additionally, this move would also flip the said level into a resistance barrier and invalidate the bullish thesis and the MRI buy signal for Doge. In such a case, Dogecoin price could crash 60% to fill the price inefficiency of fair value gap extended from 4.1 cents to 1.4 cents. So if it breaks that support level, it goes way, way, way down. So having something like its own test net in order to start working through some stuff so that it can do some upgrades and it can make itself a little bit more than it currently is a gigantic deal. Like, this is a very big deal for them. So Oh, also, if you're following Terra, the new Luna, check this shit out. So it looks like we got a little bit of a pump. That was not sustained. And now we're seeing that American market bow just a little bit. All right, so the Dow ate up all of its gains, and now we are down on the day after the launch. So yeah, here we go. Binance buys Bitcoin dip 100,000 Bitcoin on recovery to 19K level. Uh, Binance Exchange bought over 100,000 Bitcoins at 19,176 per coin this weekend. And shortly after that, the Bitcoin price retested the 20,000 level. After hitting approximately 20,100, the Bitcoin price then retraced. However, some traders are bearish as 20K may have just become a resistance level, and others are bullish about this. Now, look, this happened yesterday before the price started pumping and went to 21,000. So I don't know what they did at 21,000. I would think they probably held on to it because they're probably holding on for a long term. But CZ says it was not easy saying no to Super Bowl ads, stadium naming rights, large sponsor deals a few months ago, but we did. Today, we are hiring for 2,000 open positions for Binance. So I think he's taking a shot at crypto.com and Coinbase because if you remember, they all had their ads out there. They were all doing stuff. And they're also laying people off. So I mean, that's kind of interesting, right? I mean, that's a little bit crazy. Binance, however, appears bullish in the long term, also stating that they are hiring staff, unlike other crypto exchanges and firms such as Coinbase and BlockFi, which have been laying off employees. Kraken Exchange is also opening up new positions, announcing a global hiring push. So, listen, we're going to see some of these places succeed and some of these places fail as well. So here we go. According to Korean media outlet JTBC News, prosecutors in the nation have imposed travel restriction on Terra developers and former developers as investigations into Terra Luna and UST Death Spiral continue. The Finance and Securities Crime Joint Investigation Team announced that the travel embargo is to prevent people of interest in the case from leaving the country. The move suggests that the local agency could be preparing to issue search and seizures as well as subpoenas for those involved. Terra 2.0 price appears to have reached a significant resistance wall after bouncing off the 1.6 support level. The layer 1 token would have to print a 4-hour candlestick close above $2.34 to advance towards $3. Failing to do so can trigger another sell-off, sending Luna 2.0 price to revisit $1.60 or make a new low around $1.30. Which, by the way, I haven't been in there to look at what's going on. So let's look at the wallet here. Oh, coins required to post transaction. All right, so I forgot, by the way, that I got absolutely kicked out of everything. God damn it. Uh-oh. I can't access my station wallet. Oh, shit. Never mind. I got to log into the... Duh. I got to log back into it. Duh. Anyway, I'll log back into it later and we'll see what we see. But at last count, I had earned like 1.5 new Luna 2.0, which is not a lot. Like, yeah. I mean, it'd be okay if that ever goes to $100, but you know, I don't think that it will. I think that I think that we're going to get more bullish sentiment on Terra Classic than we are on Luna Luna Tuna. All right, guys, everything that we represent, everything that we're following is now in the green. So that's a pretty cool sign, right? Shift is up 17.5%. Bandex is up 17.2%. CVC up 16.8%. GOAT 13.4%. Volt 12.2%. WAGMI 12.0%. By the way, Volt is has been having a little bit of a run just since for a few days. This is a day chart, by the way. So you're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 7 candles are pumping. So that's a pretty good reversal for what's going on with Volt right now. WAGMI Games. WAGMI Games has been put himself back to where they were 3 days ago. Hex is up 10% on the day. Terra is up 10% on the day. BTFA 6.8%. Kishu 2.2%. Kishu was up a little bit better, I think. Yeah, they added 22% in the week. So they've had a nice little run this week. I think it's safe to say that we kind of hit that bottom almost a week ago. So, maybe we'll see. Uh-oh. Down to 11.12. The American market is going to wreck crypto again. Hope you guys are stabled. I'm stabled, by the way. So it'll be interesting to see. Oh, all right. We're minting big reds right now. American market is literally daring. I dare you to make profit. I dare you. A little weird though, right? I mean, that's kind of crazy. All right, 11.11. Flow, I don't think it's going to go under 10K. I think that's a pie in the sky sort of wish right now. I'm still like, I think that 13.8 and 730, 13.8K on Bitcoin and 730 on Ethereum are still the targets. But I think that just because they're the targets, I get a feeling that we're probably going to see a lower low than that. Just because, what we're looking for is we're looking for that move to get the institutional money back in. So I'm looking at probably 13,000, maybe 12.5. That should be enough, or hopefully should be enough capitulation to make the market start to go. Because I mean, we're really down right now, and the one thing that I think they're going to want to do is protect at some point they want that volatile low, but I think they're going to want to protect at least the market in some way. So I would get a feeling get a positive sort. I don't think we're going that far. Let's just leave it at that. I think we go to 12,500 and that's going to start a relief bounce. I think there's just too much support, like too much, even institutional support. I know I'm going long on this flow, but even institutional support is still support. And I think that there's a lot of support when you start looking at, I mean, CZ Binance, CZ Binance just bought 100,000 Bitcoin. Michael Saylor continues to accumulate. These guys are hodling this stuff long term. And when you start to get to these points, you're going to realize there's a lot of Bitcoin just being held, and even at institutional levels. So there is a floor, and there's probably some genius out there who's got it figured out way better than I do. I'm just guessing, really. But 10% below 12, 13.8 puts it somewhere around 12. So that's where I'm going to say the bottom is. But look at Bitcoin still just dumping. Ethereum still just dumping. The American market is such garbage right now, I swear. In every way that the American market could just suck the life out of stuff, they just continue to they're just horrible. Isn't that crazy though? Like, isn't it crazy to, like, for how many days now? Like we just kind of take for granted the market is the market is the market, right? And it moves and it's got its own kind of mechanism by which it does stuff, and like, it moves up, it moves down, blah 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 blah. But the more I watch, the more I am unimpressed by the American market. I know that we have our moments. I know that we have, like, sometimes cool stuff happens. But, if you just kind of sit and you watch, then you see like these good rallies coming from other markets. Like, European market was really bad for a lot of days. But, like, I mean, look at what the European market did. This right here, that's European market right there. This right here, that's European market right there. This right here, that's American market right there. This right here, that's American market right there. You know what I mean? Like, shit. I wasn't on the hours. All right. So this right here, this right here, this over here is the overnight market. This over here is the overnight market. Which is a reversal, by the way, because this was the overnight market a couple days ago. But at least you see some real movement there. Is the sound working? Oh, by the way, I was having like some trouble with internet, I think, something like that. I was trying to record. There's no Volt video today because I couldn't get Volt to work. I did a Bitcoin video, and then when I was done with the Bitcoin video, I did a Volt video. And every time I did both of them, like, I had to redo the Bitcoin video once. Like, it was a disaster. All right. Well, anyway, I gotta go get my car fixed. So, well, I gotta go get my maintenance done. It's one of those free maintenance things. So they're gonna get me done this morning first thing. So I'm gonna get out of here, and I will see you guys for Bedtime with Bleaves tonight at 8 p.m. So this is not financial advice. My name's Bleaves, and I am always right. And I am off for a free service visit and a free oil change.